Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and what I am doing in this video is we're going to go over AnimateCSS. This is a CSS animation library, and while it's easy enough to animate things in CSS, and I think I've done a video on CSS animations and transitions before, this is more about like using a library that kind of helps provide you some kind of handy out of the gate. So like just to see some examples. Okay, so you can just kind of see how these work, and then like at entrances. Okay, pretty cool. So let's try this out. So I'm gonna close all this stuff up. Don't need this anymore. Let's open a new folder. Let's go up a folder. Front end, CSS. I'm gonna create a new project. Project 2. And here will be your workspace. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create I'll just do it in terminal because it'll be faster. I want to create a touch index.html, style.css, and a app.js. Okay, that's all created. Then we'll do the boilerplate for HTML. We will do something like a link tag for the CSS. Link CSS, style.css, good. And then the JavaScript script source app.js. And then I'm going to add a defer keyword because I will be manipulating the DOM. Okay, so let's put like an H1. And we're just going to call this animate. Okay. And what I need to do is I need to link this animate CSS library in my code. So I'm going to use this link tag to link this CSS. And I'm going to link it before everything else. That way it's accessible to anything inside of it is accessible to my JavaScript and my own personal CSS file. So you can see different ways we can use this. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to make it where if you click on this H1, it will add or remove this CSS class. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll put the h1 in a variable, const h1 equals document.query selector h1. So that grabs the h1. And then I'm going to add an event listener to that h1. And it's going to be on click. And we take the event. And what I want to do, if h1.class list, okay. Let me just console log that first. I think it's an array if I remember right. But let's double check. Okay, and that's what we'll do for now. So let's open this up in the browser. Open with live server. Let me open up the dev tool. So when I click on this, I should see the class list console log. So click. Okay, DOM token list. Okay, it does have a length. That's what matters. Okay. So the reason is what I want to do is something like this. If h1.classList.length is equal than or is less than or equal than 0. Shouldn't be less than 0, but just in case. Okay. Then what I want to do is h1.classList.add, and then we'll add the particular class from AnimateCSS, which okay, those are utility classes. I just want to go straight forward. Basic usage, animate bounce. Okay. Is it just a list? No. Okay, fine. So basically, the general is animate 2 underscores and then the name. So let's do bounce. Okay. So we're gonna add animate underscore underscore bounce. So what I'm doing is I'm adding the class which will trigger the animation. But again, if there is a class on there, then what I want to do is h1.classList.remove, and then we'll remove animate bounce, so that way it stops happening. Animate bounce. Okay. So let's see if that works. So when I click this, oh. Which is not doing the thing. I was giving it the wrong class name. Animate. Animated. And add the class animated to an element along with any. Oh, you have to do it twice. So I need to add this. And let's see if it lets me do it that way too. Okay. Got it. So I gotta do is 2 separate commands. So we will do that. Control X. h1.classList.add. There we go. And essentially it will be the same thing here, except we remove. This would be quicker with jQuery, but didn't feel like setting up jQuery. So I click, and there you go. Let's see, it animates. And the idea is that I click on it, every other click, so that way it reanimates. Okay, and actually even better would be this. I add the class, Control X, so that way it kicks off the animation, but then remove it right away. That actually would be even better. So that way it just does it every time I click it. So if I click it, nope, it removes the animation too quick. Okie dokie. Yeah, I guess the way I had it before was probably an ideal way. I could do a set timeout or something, but and see, I can pretty much prevent the animation by clicking it really fast. But that's essentially basically how you use an animation library like this. Basically what I do is I add the classes that triggers animation, so you always have to add the animated class that tells it to animate, and then the bounce tells it which animation to apply. Okay, cool. That's one way to use it. Another way you can use it is you can use the at keyframes. Okay, meaning that there's already a bunch of pre-built keyframe definitions inside of here. They're already associated with classes, but then you can associate them with classes you already have. Okay. Okay, so I can just use the existing keyframes that already exist. So I can do something like this. I can be like, let's create something else. Let's create an H2. Okay, cheese. And then what I'll do is instead in the my CSS, I will style it in the H2 that when you hover over it, an animation will occur, and that animation will be bounce. Okay, and let me just see. Okay, and then we'll do the animation duration. And then I can do like 2 seconds. Okay, in this case I don't have to do anything in JavaScript, it just happens whenever I hover over it. Okay, so let's see, if I hover over cheese, it animates, but see, it's like over 2 seconds. Okay, this I have to click on, that I'm doing with JavaScript. So I can toggle classes with JavaScript, or I can use the animation keyframes inside that are already built inside in my CSS if I want, however I want to do it. These are all potential options. Okay, and then if I want to customize the way the classes behave, there's custom properties. So if I want to extend the animation duration, okay, then what I could do is just say, okay, I want to change the animation duration on specifically for H1s. H1, then I can just set this custom property and we'll just say to 5 seconds. Okay, because essentially what's going to happen is that this property is used inside the class definition. So in that case, it's going to use the most local definition it can find. So in that case, if I go like here, now I click on this. See, now it's taking a lot longer to do it because I customized using CSS variables doing that. Okay, and then theoretically, if I were to do something like this, but this time I do like h.animate __ animated, okay, and then change this one to, let's say, 2 seconds. Since this one has a more specific selector, this version of the property wins out. Okay, that's generally how the cool thing about CSS variables, generally the one with the highest specificity will win, definition will win out. So if I click that again, see, it's a little faster. Okay, because it's using the 2-second one instead of the 5-second one. So yeah, so you see, it's like the customization is cool in there. And then there's like utility classes where you can actually specify the delays through the classes instead of having to do kind of like what I just did, if you want. But yeah, that's pretty much how this works. Okay, nothing too crazy, but to add a little sprinkle of animation into your site or project or application. This often you can do like little, like, you know, come in, come out kind of things. Look at that. That's pretty neat. Okay. Again, I wouldn't go over the top. You know, you don't want to get gaudy with the amount of animations, but a little bit of animation here and there can sometimes add a nice little touch. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and kind of nice to kind of see how like the different ways it provides you to customize and make use of its animations. But you all have a great day. My name is Alex Merced. Have a great day and enjoy.